Welcome students. This is SSB Sridhar Asif, your mathematics teacher from Exxon Public Academy, Campus 5. My dear students, today we are going to discuss from the chapter number 3, algebraic expressions and formulas, how to put the values, what are polynomials and what are non-polynomials. All right. We have already discussed this chapter in our physical class, but I want you to revise this chapter with me and properly attend this lecture and make your point of views clear. Okay? So, students, what are algebraic expressions? We know that in mathematics, it's an expression which is made up of variables and constant along with the algebraic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? Such kind of expressions are called algebraic expressions. Here is an example for you: 3x squared plus 2y squared minus 3. This is an example of algebraic expressions. Now, how many algebraic expressions are there? Let's discuss its kind. So there are three kinds of algebraic expressions: polynomial expressions, rational, and irrational. Students, in today's class, we are going to discuss polynomial expressions and non-polynomials. But in the next session, we will discuss about rationals and irrationals in details. So, what is polynomial? What is the meaning of polynomial? Poly means many, and nomial means term, right? Poly means many, and nomial means term. So we can say that many terms. Polynomials means many terms. A polynomial can have some constants, variables, and exponent, but it can never be written in the division form, right? So let's discuss some examples of polynomials. We can see that 3x is a polynomial, x minus 2 is a polynomial. Two variables are connected with the negative signs. So here we can see that minus 6y squared minus 79x. It's the polynomial. Here you can see the big example again. It's a polynomial. It doesn't matter that negative and positive signs are there. These all are polynomials, right? Here we can see that all the variables, are having positive powers, right? All the exponents are positives. Again, we can see that V is having power 5, positive 5, and W is having power, again, positive 5. So these are all examples of polynomials. What about the last term? The last term is written 5. But where is the variable? Variable is hidden. Yes, it's hidden. When there is no variable written, students, we all know about that. That means that the variable containing the power 0. 0 is a non-negative number, right? So we can say that 5 is a polynomial. What about the variable? Variable must be there, but it's containing the power 0. So what is the meaning of variable with power 0? It means 1. So here we can see that 5 is an example of polynomial, right? It's an it's uh it's an example of polynomial. So if there is any constant value is written, we will say that it's a polynomial. So these are all examples of polynomials. Let's discuss some of the examples of non-polynomials, but we will discuss, inshallah, rationals and irrational in the next session. Students, here we can see that the power of, in our first example, here we can see that the power of y is -2, right? Exponent is -2. So it's non-polynomial, right? In our polynomials, only the power 0, 1, 2, any positive power is allowed, but we cannot allow any negative power, right? Now, second example is 2 divided by x plus 2, right? Because why it's non-polynomial? Because here we can see that variable is in the denominator. So it's a non-polynomial. We cannot write a variable in the denominator in polynomials, right? Now, 1 over x, again, it's a non-polynomial. Variable is written in the denominator. Now, what about root x? The root x is not, again, it's not a polynomial because the exponent is 2. Here we can see that root is over there. What is the meaning of root? Root means power half. So again, half power is not allowed. Only 0, 1, 2. Any positive exponents is allowed, but half power, 1/3 power, negative powers, these powers are not allowed. If there is a negative power, if there is a half power, if the variable is in the denominator, that means these are non-polynomial. Is it clear? So let's discuss classifications of polynomial. How can we classify the polynomials? If a single term is there, we will say that it's monomial, right? Mono means one, and mono means one. And compound expressions are those which are containing either two terms or more than two terms. So these are called compound expressions, right? If single term is there, we will say it's monomial. If more than two terms are, more than one term is there, we will say it's compound expressions. In compound expressions, if there is two term, we will say that it's binomial. And if three terms are there, we will say that it's trinomial, right? And if more than three terms are there, we will say that it is a multinomial, right? So we now, I think your concept is clear about monomials, binomials, and trinomials. Single term, two terms, and three terms, right? Now let's discuss degree of the polynomial. Here in this example, we see that 4x cubed minus x plus 3, right? Now what will be the degree of the polynomial? Here we can see that the largest power in this expression is 3. So the degree of the polynomial is 3. What is the meaning of degree of the polynomial? It means that the largest exponent in the expression, right? So here we can see that the largest power of the variable is 3, right? So let's discuss some more examples. In our first example, the degree is 1 because there is only one term, one monomial term is there. So the power is 1. We will say that our degree is 1. In our second example, 4x cubed minus x. X means x power 1. So the degree of the polynomial is, highest power is 3. So the degree will be 3. What about the third example? In our third example, we can see that x having power is square and x having power 5. So the highest power is 5. So the degree is 5, right? So in any question with the variable, with only one variable, it's very simple to judge the degree of the polynomial. Highest power of the that variable is called its degree. But what about the degree of the polynomial when more than one variable is over there? For example, in our question, it is written that 4xy square plus 3x minus 5. In this question, we can see that two terms are there. So, what is the meaning? How can we uh, judge the degree of that polynomial? Here, x is also there and y is also there. So the largest degree, how can we say that the largest degree? How can we say that the degree of the polynomial? How can we judge the degree of the polynomial? In such kind of question, when more than one variable is over there, we will find the sum of the powers. We have to find the sum of the power, and after finding the sum of the power, the highest power will be the degree of that polynomial, right? So the first term containing x and y square, so 1 plus 2, x having power 1 and y having power 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3. So the degree will be 3. Let's discuss another example. If there is a question 5xy square minus 3x plus 5x cubed minus 3. Students, there are how many terms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 terms are there. Terms are separated by the negative and positive sign. So there are 4 terms. So first of all, we have to find the powers, the sum of the powers of these terms, right? So the first term containing the power 1 plus 2, 3. Second term containing power 1. Third term containing 5 power cube. And the last term containing power 0. That means the highest degree of this polynomial is 3. First and the third term containing the same degree. Either there are the two variables, and in the third term, only one variable is there. But for finding the degree of polynomial, we have to add the power of all the variables, right? So in the first term, we can see that x and y both are there. So we have to add the power of the variable and we get the degree 3. Now students, after this discussion, let's discuss a few examples of value putting. How to put the values of x or y or any variable in our given algebraic expressions, and how can we find the values, right? For example, I have taken 2 questions from exercise 3.1 to clear your concepts that if there are some values given to you, how can you evaluate the expressions? For example, if x is equals to minus 4 and y is equals to 9, then evaluate the expression. Here is an expression given to you. Students, in this expression, what we have to do, we have to put the value of x, that is minus 4 over here, and we have to put the value of y in the given expression over here within the brackets without removal of the bracket. Please, what you have to do in the first step, look carefully that in the question, the value of x is minus 4, not 4. Please be careful about that. put the correct value of x and y in the given question, right? The students, after putting the values in the given question, we can see that the expression becomes like this. 5 minus 5, in the bracket, we can see that minus 4. What we have done, we have put the value of x, y, like this. And what we have done, we have put the value of x in the denominator. And what about under root y? What about under root y, students? Look, right now we are discussing the denominator. The students, x square is over there and x value is minus 4. So what we have to do, beta, we have to put minus 4 within the round bracket and square is outside the bracket, right? What we have done, we have just put the value of x. Okay. Now, what about under root y? Under root y, just cut this y and write down 9 over there. Just write down 9 over there. Here, I want to highlight your mistakes that in this question, what what you are going to do, students, you just put the root over 6 also. But why you are putting this under root over 6? When in this question, only we can see that the root is only on y. So we just have to put this root on the value of y. That's it. Here, look, after putting the value of y, the expressions look like this. Okay? Avoid using root on 6. Okay? Don't use root on 6. Because in the question, there is no root on this plus 6. Okay? So, now, after this step, what you have to do, you have to solve this round bracket first. Don't multiply this 5 with 4 or 5 with 9. No. Students, first you have to solve this round bracket. Student, here we can see that minus 4 plus 9. Minus 4 plus 9 gives you, it will gives you 9 minus 4 is 5, right? What will be the answer? 9 minus 4 gives you the answer 5. So in the numerator, you get 5. How we get 5? There is different sign, so we have to subtract. And 9 minus 4 is 5. And sign will be of the bigger value. ठीक है, sign किसकी लगाते हैं? Sign will be of the bigger value. So we get plus, right? What about the denominator? How we can solve this round bracket? Students, minus 4 square means, what is the meaning of minus 4 square? Minus 4 square means minus 4 is multiplying, minus 4 is multiplying twice. Minus 4 is multiplying twice. So minus minus, we get plus. Plus. And 4 into 4 is 16. Okay? The student, if you write in the next step that 4 into 4 is minus 16, it is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because you have to multiply these signs also. Here we can see that minus 4 is written. So we have to multiply both the signs also. So minus 4 square becomes minus, not minus 16, it becomes 16. What about root 9? Root 9 means, under root 9 means, we have to find the root that if 3 is multiplying twice. 3 is multiplying twice, it becomes 9. 3 into 3 is 9. So we get only 3 outside the root, and square root of 9 is what? 3. Okay, square root of 9, 3 is multiplying twice, it gives the answer 9. So we get the answer 3. We all know that what is the meaning of root? The root means half. So 3 square is 9, right? 3 square is 9, and this root and square is going to be cancelled, and root 9 gives you the answer 3. So here we have to put this plus 16 over here, and under root 9 gives you 3, and 9 minus 4 is 5. So after putting all these values, after putting all these values in our given expression, it becomes like, this. 5 into 5 is 25. And what about denominator? We get 3, 16, and 3. That means 16. Here we can see that 3 3s are 9, and 16 9s are 144 in the denominator plus 6. Right? Now, 144 plus 6 gives you 150. 25 over 150. Can we further simplify it? Yes. 25 ones are 25, and 25 6 are 150. So in this way, we can properly evaluate the expression step by step. First, we have to, if there is a round bracket, we have to add and subtract the value. If there is a root on a single term, find the root of that term. Okay. If there is a negative number with a square and cube over there, students first find the square, okay, and properly solve the question. Now again, I'm taking the example. This is the last example I'm taking for you. If x equals to 2, y equals to -4, and z is equals to 3, we have to find the expression. This expression is given to you. Now, in this expression, again, after putting the values, the expression becomes like this. Right? X value is 2. Now, value of x is value of x is 2, and value of y is -4. After putting the value -4, plus minus minus, in the question plus sign is there. Okay, so plus and minus, the sign becomes -4 within the round bracket, and there is a cube, right? Because in the question there is a cube over there. Minus z square. Z means z, value of z is 3. So we get 3 square, right? Now in the denominator, x square, that means 2 square. Then let's put the value of y, -4 square plus 3 square. Again, student, there is a negative number with the power square. So it becomes minus minus plus, and 4 into 4 is 16. What about 2 square? 2 into 2 is 4. What about 3 square? Acha, now don't do any kind of mistake over there. Students, this is not 3 into 2. This is not 3 into 2, 6. It is 3 is multiplying twice. So it becomes 3 3s are 9. 3 3s are 9 in the numerator. What about 2 minus 4? Students, 2 minus 4 is not 2. Here the negative number is greater, so answer will be negative. So we get, what we will get? So we get here minus 2 whole cube. Students, minus 2 cube. What is the meaning of minus 2 cube? Minus 2 cube means 2, not 2, minus 2 is multiplying thrice. Minus 2 is multiplying thrice. So look at this. Minus 2 into minus 2 into minus 2. 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8. Now what about the sign? Minus, minus, plus, plus, minus, minus. Remember one point. We have already discussed this in chapter number 1. Whenever there is a negative number with a odd power, right? It gives you the negative sign. But whenever it contains the positive, whenever it contains the even power, if there is a power 2, 4, 6, 8, the answer will be positive. But if there is a power odd, there is an odd power, that means 1, 3, 5, 7, so on. It gives you the answer negative. Clear? So we get the answer here. Minus 2 cube means minus 8. So after putting and finding all the squares and cube, we get minus 8, minus 9. Students, what about minus 8 and minus 9? Same signs are there. We have to add the number 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9 give you 17, and the sign will be of negative. Okay? Same signs here, we have to add, but the sign will be of negative. Okay? Plus 8 plus 9 plus 17. Minus 8 minus 9 minus 17. Right? 16 fours are 64 plus 9. And finally, we get minus 17 over 73. So this is as simple as you can see. But if you are not putting the correct value in the given question, if you are not finding the correct squares or cube, if you are not taking care of the negative sign, so it will becomes a big problem for you. You will unable to solve any kind of question. Okay, so be careful about the signs, students. Be careful about the questions. Put the correct value in the given questions. Inshallah, everything will be easy for you. Inshallah, see you in the next lecture. Okay. I hope that this lecture will be clear to you. If you are having any difficulty, any problem in this lecture, then you can ask me in the physical class as well. So we'll try to solve the remaining parts of exercise 3.1, and inshallah we will discuss it in our physical class. So thank you so much, student. Take care of yourself and Allah.